Alright guys, we're on to part 3. I don't know, I'll probably stop doing the whole parts thing because I'll just do videos. Anyway, where do we leave off? Well, we left off with getting that thing going. There's this lever right here. I have no idea what this does. It does make contact with the gearing. So maybe it has something to do with threading, I don't know. Anyway, I'll keep messing with that. Now, back here, which I don't think you're going to be able to see, there's this plate right here where my hand is. Take that off. There's a tension lever in there. And I'm not going to bother moving the lathe out of the way. But that's where you change the, that's how you change the gear setup. So, as it is right now, I'm fine with whatever speed it does. So, I'm just going to put this cover back on. Because, you know, like going back to the whole theoretical thing, I should know exactly how to operate this right. And I don't. But that's okay, you know, because I got one, and that's all that matters. And it works so far, and that's a plus, and that's all that matters. So, uh-oh, I forgot my safety glasses. Hold on. All right, got my safety glasses. So I'm safe. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't even know where to begin with this thing. So I do have a 4-jaw chuck coming. I have these little metal pieces. So we got some brass. We got some aluminum. I think it's just, or copper maybe. I don't know. Does it say? I don't know. It's probably brass. Copper. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I do have over here a selection of bits. And honestly, I don't know what they're for. These are boring bits. I do know that. I think that one's a cutoff parting bit. Maybe I'll reach out to Joe and see if he has an explanation for which one do which. Witchy woo. We have a piece of aluminum you can see right there, and we have a piece of Delrin right there. Friend of mine, Joe, my other friend here locally, he's got some of that tool steel, so, and he can cut me off however much I need, and I'm having him check with the local scrapyard guy he's really good friends with to see if he has any brass lying around. So anyway, I guess I should plug it in. It will probably help a little bit. I still haven't come up with a mounting solution. I got to drill through this counter, which I mean ain't no big deal. But man, them screws are tiny. You know, I wish it had bigger holes for bigger screws. And then I'll have to drill through the plate too, because the holes on this little tray down here. Let me turn that here a little bit. The little tray down here, it does have a couple holes in it, but they don't line up with the. I don't think they line up with it. No, I don't. Well, maybe they do. Then this thing would be hanging off the edge. Let's see here. Yeah, they might line up. So anyway, I'm not worried about that right now. I mean, I'm going to be doing low speed stuff here. Okay, so I don't think this thing's going to take off like a rocket. At least I hope it don't take off like a rocket. All right, so let's move this thing back a bit. And what do we want to mess with? Oh, what do we want to mess with? I mean, we do have these tiny little pieces here. We could. I have this bit right here, in there. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a facing operation, but I don't know. As you can see, none of my stuff is ever scripted. I do not script anything. Actually, I think somebody made a comment about that one time. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I do this crap for fun, guys. Now, the one thing I am kind of bummed about, I wish that opening through here was a hair over 3/4 inch, because then you could, like this piece here, it's sticking out pretty far. I don't have one of those steady rests, you know, to go in between here. So I don't know. Got what I got. Of course, I guess I could fire up the bandsaw over here and cut this down a little bit. Or if I really knew what I was doing, I could use the parting bit and cut me a piece off, right? Yeah, I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. Okay, so in the meantime, let's see if we can figure out how to true this thing up. Or see if my piece is true. That ain't going to work right there. So let's move that off. Let's move this forward. Remagnetize it. Stick it. And we'll move it a little closer. Okay. And I'm going to attempt to zero this. What is this thing? I got preload on it, so this is moving inside here. Let's tighten that up. And that's moving, so let's loosen that up. Let's preload on it. Tighten it down. It is what it is. And spin it around. See how far out we are. 8 thousandths. Okay, so we can. You know what I need over here is a little hammer. I don't have a hammer, but yet. No, I ain't got a hammer. I thought I had a hammer over here. Thought I did. Let me look. I have a regular hammer. I don't have my plastic hammer. So let's see if we can tap it. So right there. I don't think I want to tap on that with the thing set up. And I'm going to make sure we are tight. It's tight. Go that way with it. Yeah, is this the best arm? I don't think so. does tighten down. So this side needs to come towards me. Ah, I think I went too far. It's tricky stuff, man. And I got way too much stick out on here, I know I do. Well, that is supposedly where the four-jaw chuck comes into play. I think it supposedly lines it up better. But we are... I think I need to put a different caliper in here too. Because this thing is not... Maybe that's it. Okay. We're on 0. So 9 and 5. So we're going in 9 that way. So we need to come back this way. Oh, trust me, I will get plenty of comments, you know, that I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. And you are absolutely right. I do not know what I'm doing. But that's why you get something like this to play. So we're way out there. So now we're just out. So let's see if we can tap this end. And I may just... Now we're the other direction. 5,000, 10,000. That's close enough. Close enough. I'm not that picky. We're just going to play here. Okay, so we've got this thing here, and we need to move in. Let's see. That's the other thing I really kind of need to look into is leveling this thing, because this, I thought this bit was supposed to kind of be into the center, and it's sitting down kind of low, and my quick change tool post is not here yet. How are you supposed to raise this up? $1 million question, and I have no answer for it right now. So that is something I will have to Google, because let's see if the doohickey on the end here. Move this out of the way. I really need to find, if anybody has an idea for these knobs, I mean, I guess I can just put some Loctite on them, keep them from loosening up. We're going to wind this out. I need the little 10 mil. I'm going to loosen this up. And we're going to turn it. Alright, so we got that. Let's get the big fatty dead thing. Oh, that's the one that goes in the chuck end. So we're going to loosen this up. This is out of the way. Let's move this down up under this piece here. Then I'll bring you over, we'll see. Okay, now that thing is dead nut center. if you can see that. Right there. It's right in the center. Okay, so that's good. So, need to figure out what I am doing wrong here. Let's take this thing down. I'm gonna get that thing out of there so it don't stab me like it did the other day. Okay, so that's out, and we'll move this back down. Turn this back around. And we'll run this in. We'll just do a cut and see what it does. I mean, it's not sitting. It's sitting below center. That's for sure. But we'll try a little facing operation on this. Guess I need to get that lined up a little better. I think that'll work. I'm going to find out. You will hear me talk to myself, because I'm talking to myself and I'm talking to you guys. Okay, so if we go in, I think it's touching. Can't really tell. Let's back up a little bit. Is that going to hit as this goes in? Will it hit this end right here? Let me get you guys closer. You can see. You need to watch Dale and/or Blondie hacks and see how what angle they use on this thing. And that's the that's the other thing I wanted to point out. There's no scribe on here for this angle. There is the gauge. I guess you could use the edge here, but down here the wheel, there is no scribe, no mark on the plate. You know, so you can't like really just set this. This thing doesn't move independent. Not that I've seen. But there's no mark to let you know your travel. So anyway, let's back this up. See if it's going to hit. Yep, I think it's going to hit. And turn it on, because we're not touching anything. I need to find my digital tack and see if it'll read this thing while it's spinning. And let's slowly turn speed up a little bit. I don't think that's good. I think it may be too far in. Or I've got the wrong blade on here. I think maybe I have the wrong blade on here. Let's see, what other blades do I have? Got this one here. I think this one might be better. Let's put this one in. This one right here. Wrong one. I think it's cutting on the outside instead of the inside, if that makes sense. So let's tighten this thing down. you know, like I said, I mean, I've never done this before. Just watch people do it. Looks super easy. Okay, so, and that there is still sitting lower. So I don't know if you have to shim under this thing to raise it up. That is what I'm going to have to look up. But we are touching there. So let's turn it back on. Back this up a little bit. Move it in a little bit. I don't think it's doing enough. And I'm wondering, let's do it a little bit more. Let's lock. Oops, that's not locked. This thing needs to be, I think I need to work on the tightening here because I noticed this thing was moving and that is not good. And it did not go all the way to the center. So, but it made a chip, right? So that counts for something. Here, let me turn my lights on that I installed in here. I am such a dork. Okay, so I don't know if that's, so we got a little bit of movement here, so I think those gibs got to be tightened up a little bit. So, or there is these screws back here, and I noticed though when I tighten them down really tight that the bed didn't want to move. Tighten it a little. See, now it's like hard to turn. So those have got to be a little more loose. But I'm still seeing a little side-to-side play. But if I make these, see, is that going to the center? Looks like it's going to the center. I still think I got the wrong bit in there. Let's see here. Since I don't know what bit does what, no clue, guys. Guess I had to Google that and then fire the camera back up once I educate myself a little bit on what bits to use for what. I mean, a facing operation isn't that big of a deal. Unless I just don't have the angle right, which is entirely possible. Let's try turning the angle on this a little bit. And maybe that's all it is. Maybe my angle is just off. So Will that get to the center? No. So why am I not getting to the center of the Tootsie Pop? Because it looks to be just shy of the center. So why is my travel not going far enough? This thing here, I can move that. Okay, so let me move it there. That'll get the tip. That'll get this tip farther past the center. Maybe that's what I was doing wrong. So then if we move it in, you know, I wonder, does this thing, I don't really haven't messed with this, but does that screw out of there to raise it up? No, but you can shim. Like I said, you could put shims under there. Okay, so that's tight. And let's back it up. Touch in there, so let's move it in a little bit. This is I need to ask that Joe guy more questions. Okay, so we are just a hair away from it. I'm guessing you can see that. I can't really tell what you're seeing. I mean, I know you're seeing the post and the bit's right here, so yeah, you should be seeing that. Okay, so if I move it, but that's definitely not a smooth cut. I might have to move the crap out of my way so I can get you in over here. And maybe I still have that. Maybe I have that blade the wrong way. I don't know. That's why we have testing time, learning time. So maybe that blade goes in. But that, I don't think so, because maybe that's not, maybe this ain't the right bit. Like I said, I don't know. We got this one here, which kind of looks very similar. It's got more of an end on it. Let's try that one again. I don't know if we tried that one to begin with. That's in there tight. And it could be too the stick out I got on here. I don't know. I gotta watch more crap. Okay, so that's touching. So let's back it up a little bit. And turn on. Maybe I do need to change the speed. Maybe it needs to be faster running. process. I got to get this thing mounted. Okay, it's definitely leaving a groove. So, and I know it is not, it's not centered. It's sitting too low. So I need to see how you raise the tool post. And maybe that's part of the problem, that it's sitting too far below center of this piece. I don't know. But let me, I'll have to Google that. And I'll show you. Let me take this piece out and I'll show you what the end of it looks like. So that's what it looks like on the end. It's definitely not making a clean cut all the way through. So, you know, you would have thought, being I do all this, I wouldn't say do all this, YouTube stuff, that I would have kind of looked this up. Now see that piece, I don't know if it's, oh, it's shorter. This is the Delrin, and it goes in farther. So let's put this in here. And see how well it's spinning. Yeah, it's a little crooked. A little bit. So I definitely got to work on my putting things in the chuck skill. Note to self. And come down here and let's move this in. And that one is definitely still lower. Okay, so I guess that has to be shim because I don't see any mechanism on here to raise the tool post up. So if we back it up, take the screw out, so that whole thing comes out. So that doesn't really do anything because it doesn't give us any height. Yeah, it don't give us no height. And we are, I don't know, man, maybe 1/8 of an inch below center. So, I mean, this thing is going to have to come up to like right there. There was a washer floating around in this thing. Maybe that's it. Nah, we're still below center. But I don't know where the washer came from. I just had it sitting here. I can't get up now. But it fits perfect over that. Maybe I just need a couple more washers, right? Now let's stick that washer in there and see what it does. Because trust me, if you get a lathe like me, you are going to be questioning the same things. Actually, let's turn it back in this way a little bit. Make sure we get to the center, which we do. Let's back it up. Let's move it in so we know that's touching. got the nub in there, so it's sitting down too low. But that thing moved. So I definitely got some more tightening to do, because you can see this thing. You see it? As soon as you apply pressure, it's kicking up. That ain't good. So I thought I had tightened those gibs. Maybe I didn't. In all my playing around, maybe I forgot to. Man, I need it super tiny. And who knows, man. I may delete half this content. Or fast forward, which I typically don't use, because I don't use it that often, and it takes me forever to figure out how I did it. Okay, so I kind of got those tightened up. Let's see if it jerks back up. That's better, but the whole thing is moving up. But of course, I don't think you're supposed to put that much pressure on it anyway. Let's tighten these things up. Let's make sure we're still spinning there good. Check this. See, that's really tight. But I'd rather it be tight, because this move, when you're facing something off, you're really not moving this much. You know, I'm just going to be turning it by hand anyway. So let's go here. Let's back it up. Go into there. Let's tighten these little nuts. Okay, so let's back it up a little bit. So it's not touching. Still got the little nub in the center, so I'm still not high enough. And like I said, I'm probably not even using the right blade. But I don't need to take much off of it. It isn't even cutting smooth. It's not even cutting smooth. Okay. So, and maybe my angle still isn't right. Possibly. I mean, it's just the tip of it hitting. But there again, like I said, I don't know. I could have the wrong tip on here. But definitely I might have to fly Dale out here. Give me some training. So if we go right there, that's going to definitely take a little more off. Back it up. making contact all the way across. Okay, we will call this one a day because I'll show you what it's still doing. Alright, so here's the end of it. Still got that little nub on there. So I do know that the blade is not sitting tall enough, high enough. So I need to get some more washers and raise up the tool post. Guys, there's nothing else on here that'll raise and lower this thing, you know. So I've got to shim it somehow. So washers I will get. So I will bring you guys back once I find a selection of washers. Alright, took a momentary break. Figure out what bits are for what, which I'm still kind of unclear on that. Left hand, right hand, yeah, I kind of get all that stuff, but yeah. So I put a different bit in here. Put this one here. Looks like it's facing down and away, and down and away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this tail piece up to that, and it shows that it is pretty close, but not close enough. So let's take a shim, which is actually just a feeler gauge. This is a .075, and I'm going to take this and leave it off. So I got a stack of these, and let's spin this back around and loosen it up. Hope I can loosen it up without me. Okay. And we're going to put this shim underneath it. And not drop it. And it's probably going to be a bit high. But better be a bit high than too low. And I can tell you right now, that's going to be too high. So that one's out. Let's do a .30. So we know 75 is way too much. And I'll show you what I'm going to do here in a sec. We're going to take and just snug this up. And I really need to have that piece out of my way. Then we're going to line up the top. That's pretty close. It could stand to come down a hair. So that was a 30. So what's the next size down we got? See here. I think that was a 30. Yeah, .030. And let's do a 25 and see what it looks like. So we know the 30 is too big. So let's shove the 25 under here. And we're going to bring our thing back up. And I think it's still a tad too high. Now that's a 25. So do I have a 20? I don't know. Just keep dropping everything. Or what can I make a, so that's a 40. That's going to be too big. There's a 50, that's too big. Rule those out. So I need like a 20. That's a 1. Way too big. 15. So here's a 15. There's an 8. A 9. 0, 6. That'd be 20. Do I got a 5? Is this a 5? 0.05. That'll give us our 20. So we got the 15 and 0.5. Let's see what it does. That's still a bit high. So let's take out the 5 and just do the 15. And now it's still a tad high. Actually, let me snug these up, make sure. It's still a tad high. So we're looking for maybe a 10, which I don't think I had a 10. So there's 15. We'll set that over there. Well, here's 0.09. Let's try that. Tighten it down. That way we got the, the shim is snug. That's still a tad high. Okay. So that's 0.09. Let's do a 0.05. We've been too high. Now I'm hoping that that quick change tool post that comes with this has an adjustment for height. Okay. I think that'll work. We're going to run with that. And I'm going to take this out of here so I don't, like I said, I don't stab myself like I did before. Okay, so we are good there. Let's take this tool and move it forward a little bit. Put our knob back on. And let's see if we can tighten it down. Okay, we are tightened down. Hopefully you guys got all that. So let's move it in. Now see, I don't know. I mean, just eyeing it, it looks like it's too high now. What the heck? That 0.05 couldn't have made that much of a difference. And we done shown, well, this piece in here is actually not even tight. So let's fix that. Yes, I know, technically it needs to be squared up, but we're just doing a test here. So maybe it is. Tell you what, I would like for these things to freaking turn. Okay, that's all the way in, that's why. So I need to, do I need to increase the angle? So I only need to go halfway. So we're not touching. Going in far enough. Okay, so I need to adjust. How do I adjust for that? Because this only turns unless we back it up. Push this out a little farther. We'll get there. It's all a learning process. And that's why I'm doing this. So we can all learn. Yeah, so I really don't think Dale or Blondie Hacks need to watch my videos. So, they would just laugh at me and give me a thumbs down. Okay, so what kind of travel are we getting? See, there, we're all the way back, and that is not perfectly square. Okay, so what am I doing wrong? Because we can only, if it's only going to go, that's as far as it's going. Unless I've got it, unless I need to put this on the other side of the tool post, the back side of it. Let's try that. Because that will increase our travel. Genius. Okay, so if we put this on the back side, all the way seated in. However, I would have to increase the angle, and I think that is in the wrong direction. So if we take that bit out, turn upside the other direction. See, I thought they were supposed to be facing up. So if that's the case, is this one going to be a better choice? I think it will be. Let's try this one. Yep. You work with what you got. This is what I got for the time being until my quick change tool post comes in. Okay, so now if we wind out, why are we not winding out? Okay. I am not moving. That is not engaged. I don't even have the dust shield on there. Why is this not backing out? Okay. Don't have anything locked. Oh, that came loose. What size is that one? Not it. I'm about to put Loctite on everything. Okay, now we're moving out. Yeah, I know. You've probably seen that, right? Yeah. Okay, so now are we center? Man, I need to work on, I don't know if these gibs are too tight or what. Man, this thing is not the easiest thing to turn by hand. Wow, that is pissing me off. Sorry. Because it's kind of hard to feed. Yes, I know it has an automatic feed, which I can hit the button and it'll feed. But I want to learn to do this stuff by hand. Alright, so I think we're going to be kind of touching off a little bit there. Back it up a little bit. Alright, let's turn it on. I still think it's too low. Well, that's going to need some adjustment. Because I noticed that the thing is stopping. Let's try the auto feed, see what it does. So you can hear it hit and then not hit. Now we still got a heck of a nub in the center there, so that's telling me that this is still not high enough. Okay. I mean, we're getting all the way through the center, so we know we've got it on the back side, which is good. That'll work for that. But why are we not, if we loosen this up and we spin it around, we put our dead center back in, we move this over, are we, see, now we're back down to being low. So, okay, what's that telling us? Each side of this thing is obviously different. Good to know. Better when I get that quick change tool post. So let's go back to our 75. Spin it around, snug it up. And we are still way low. What the heck? I mean, way low. Okay, so let's do a 1.75. And we are still, maybe I need to turn it. No, the blade is in the right direction. So we are still considerably lower. And there again, I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. I've never had a lathe before. Okay, so this is a total of 2. See where that gets us. And we're still short. Okay, so this is driving me nuts. What if we take this other bit, put it back in here? Because something ain't right. And maybe that, maybe it goes this way. Let's snug it up this direction and see what it does. Okay, now see, that's pretty lined up. So let's try this direction. Turn it down. And of course, it's kind of in my way. Okay, so let's tighten it down there. Let's move it in. We're snug, we're snug. That is not the right bit for that. So we put this one back in. they're all 3/8 bits, so I can't. I'm struggling with understanding why we have a height difference. So that one's in there like that. We had this one in here like this. They're the same height, same thickness. So why is this one then? Maybe that's a bit high? I don't know. We'll try this one again. Without any shim. So let's see if we're going to clear to the middle. We are. Okay, so everything's tight. Let's go. So a little bit more. Get this nub off of here. Now we've extended we've reached our max angle. So let's turn that back this way. Let's roll this out. I don't think that blade goes in that direction. I think it goes the other side. I could be wrong. And I probably am wrong. So if we put that blade down or up, let's put it up. It's coming away from the material. But is that going to hit? Not if we put it right there, it ain't. Or put it out here. Let's move this in. I ain't got this tightened in here. I think it needs to stick out a little more than that. Far back are we? So if we come out a little bit more, a little angle there, tighten that down. Let's see if we can take the nub off first. Working, guys. Still don't think I have enough of an angle on it. Back it out. Back it out really good. Give it more of an angle. That way we're hitting just, as you can see where my finger is, this tip right here. Okay, so let's bring it back out some. If you ask me, it is pushing this whole thing back. I'm gonna have to replay this video in slow motion, because that's what it looks like it's doing. It looks like it's not even cutting. It looks like it's pushing this rod, you know, the Delrin, or the Delrin is pushing this head back. exactly what it's doing. Let's move this thing all the way back so we know we're not going to run into issues of it stopping. We're going to push that, position that right there. The cutting edge, though, I think is on the wrong side. So we're cutting on this side, and I think it needs to be cutting on that side. Let's take that out and flip it over. So, do we want to go this direction? Spin it around. See, now we're back. I don't think our angle's going to be right. Because then that's going to hit. So, does it need to be like that? But then it's cutting on the back side of that tool, which I know you can't see it in the video, but it is notched out a bit. I'm going to pause you guys for a minute. I got the other bits over there. I was trying to identify which bits are which. You see, this one can go like that, but then I'm back to move this one in. Man, I got to work on these gibs. This thing is just, it turns way too hard. You'll never get a smooth cut by hand doing it that way. See, that's pretty much straight on. So the farther this goes in, it could hit the back side of this. So we did it like that. That way it's not going to hit. But is it going to cut? $1 million question. We're going to find out. And if it's don't, then I got to do some more reading. Oh, trust me, I did not expect to walk into this. I was just joking and being about theoretical. You know, I knew I was not going to know. Okay, so we're out. We should be pretty good right there. We're not touching yet. Might be too much, but it is going. Now see that? That just kicks that whole assembly back.